What is up, guys? So today's routine is going to be about our scapula. Now, the scapula muscles are super important and super crucial that we create stability in those muscles because they serve us basically to stabilize our entire body, because if we don't have a stable scapula, then our shoulders are going to suffer, our entire body is going to feel unstable, and you're going to be compensating by using other areas of your body that is not your scapula, which is a huge component of many muscles. So if you have a strong scapula, then your body will not have to compensate by using other muscles, and you can stay free of injury, and you're gonna be performing way better, especially when we're talking about body weight training. If you wanna get into planches, levers, even handstands, and all the static moves that require a straight arm strength, you need a strong scapula stability. So let's get through all the exercises, and this routine is laid out in a way that you can do it either as a warm-up, you can do it either as a cool-down, you can do the entire routine as a standalone routine on your rest days. You can choose several exercises depending on your weaknesses and work towards them. And I'm also going to give you different variations for each one of the movement of the scapula, so you can adapt it to your own individual level. So first, before we get into the routine, let me show you the 4 most fundamental movements that our scapula have, so we're clear on that. The first one is going to be a scapula protraction, and that means bringing your shoulders forward, rounding the upper back. Now, bringing your shoulders forward doesn't mean that you flex from your spine, which when we're talking about planche, that's another thing. You don't want to be like completely rounded, you want to be neutral, but that's for a planche video. Scapula protraction is simply bringing your shoulders forward and keeping your entire trunk neutral. Then we have the scapula retraction, which is bringing your shoulder blades back and together. And once again, it's not about arching the back, but it's about bringing only your shoulders back together. Then we have elevation of the scapula, which is the one that we use for the handstand, which is bringing your shoulder up and overhead. Put it sideways so you can see it. Over here. Here we are working on the over traps, middle traps, and our trapezius as well. And then we have a depression, which means bringing your shoulders down towards your hips. When you do that, you're gonna feel an activation on both your serratus if you keep a small protraction, but mostly in your lats. And depression, it is crucial for doing dips. When you are pulling up, you wanna first depress before you actually pull up. So keeping those shoulders down is gonna allow you to, first of all, be stronger and not compensate by shrugging in this motion right here, which is elevation. But let's get to the exercises, and you're gonna get a better idea of what I mean. The first one is going to be a 180-degree band pull apart with external rotation, and we're gonna go for 3 to 5 reps of a full cycle. Let me demonstrate that. We're gonna grab a band. You're gonna put it in external rotation. Is you're gonna put your hands in supination, this position right here. You're gonna grab the band, and in order to make it really an external rotation exercise, you wanna have your hand outside of your elbow. Like, you don't wanna be right here. That forces your body to actually be on internal rotation. So if you put your hands outside of your elbow, just slightly outside, then your body doesn't have any other option but to be externally rotated. Now, band pull apart, you've probably done it in the past. It's a pretty common exercise. What we do is we keep our arms completely straight. We do a small protraction, but the main focus is going to be on retraction right here. Let me just turn back the camera. So you go here, keeping your arms straight, trying to externally rotate a little more. The more you externally rotate, the more your rotator cuff back part is gonna get more work done. So go here, and also, again, don't arch your back, only focus on the movement of your shoulders. And now the 180 degree is that we're gonna go from here, then we're gonna keep increasing that angle until we reach the top position. And we get it right here. For this one, your scapula, as I said, you want to be retracting your scapula, but you also want to be paying attention to keeping those shoulders depressed the entire time. Now, modifications for this exercise is going to be using a lighter resistance band. So instead of grabbing this band, you can just grab one part of the band and do it right here. The second modification is decrease reps, like don't go for 3 or 5 full cycles, maybe start with 1, and the other one would be like reducing the angles. I just play right here, and just go right here, and then maybe go right here. This exercise is something that one day you can do it only horizontal, one day you can do the full circle, and it's going to allow you to find those spots where you feel the most amount of tightness or the most amount of looseness, which is lack of stability. Then how we make it harder is with a heavier band and by increasing time under tension, especially on the hold. So the tempo for this one is going to be 0, 0, 0, 2, meaning that you don't pause on any position of the movement, but you pause on the isometric hold at the contraction. So it'll be something like this. 0, 0, then 1, 2, 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 0, 0, 0, 1, 2. And to increase the difficulty, instead of doing 0, 0, 0, 2, you're going to be doing 0, 0, 0, 3 or 4 or 5 and really holding that position. All this movement, you want to do it as controlled as you possibly can, really paying attention to everything that is happening in your body, because we can compensate so easy. Like I said, you can be shrugging, you can be bending your arms and not putting the work on your scapula and actually activating your biceps. So you be very, very aware. If you need to record yourself, do it, and just pay very close attention to details. Then the next one is going to be the scapula shrugs plus hold at depression. We're gonna go for around 8 to 12. Once again, reps are guidelines. Some days you might go higher, and some days you might go lower but increase the difficulty. We're gonna talk about that throughout the video, but just keep in mind that reps and even sets are just guidelines, and you need to listen to your body, especially if you are doing this, for example, as a rehab. You're doing it every single day. You wanna first vary the intensity, vary the exercises, and as well vary the reps that you're doing. The tempo is going to be 1, 1, 1, 3, and several modifications to make it easier. Let me first demonstrate the hardest progression. It will be just a ring support. I want you to posteriorly feel your pelvis so your core is completely engaged. Externally rotate your shoulders. Now push down. This is the starting point position. Then you're going to come down, and then you're going to push one more time, and you're going to hold that for 3 seconds. The tempo is 1, 1, 1, 3, meaning that you go 1 second coming down, hold it, 1 second, 1 second coming up, and then you hold for 1, 2, and 3. Now, to make this exercise a little bit harder, if you are more on an advanced level, you can add weight either by putting a weight belt, or you can put the resistance band behind your neck and be right. So you completely straight, you shrug, you depress, hold down, and you shrug. Make sure that if you're adding intensity to the exercise, it's not compromising your ability to actually keep those shoulders down when they should be down and up when they should be up. Like, the most important part here is actually like the pushing down part. This one will be like the stretching of that movement, and this one will be the position that you wanna strengthen the most. And if you wanna make it even harder, again, increase the tempo. Instead of 1, 1, 1, 2 or 3, go for 1, 1, 1, 4 or 5. And now, to make it easier, you can either put your feet on an elevation, bring your knees forward, so try to keep your body completely straight, and just practice that movement right here, and slowly maybe bring it up and play with intensity. But once again, I want you to be like right here, like you don't know what you're doing. Like, find a position, try to engage your core even though your feet are on an elevation. That's why I say like drive your knees forward, but don't arch, like keep a whole body position, and and you just work in there. And also to modify it, you can use a band, put it around your knees, go in the band, lower, and push. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. And again, you can increase the tempo. You can choose like an easier progression and increase the tempo. You can choose a easier progression and do more reps. You can choose a harder progression and just go for 5 reps. Depends on your body and depending on the day that you're doing this exercise. I think that covers everything for this one. Well, I didn't mention we're going from elevation of the scapula to depression of the scapula. Externally rotating your elbows. That's the only movement that you want to do. You don't want to be protracting, you don't want to be retracting. In that position, your shoulder is neutral in regards to horizontal movements, but in regard to vertical movements is when the movement is going to happen. Next one. Next one we have scapula pulls plus hold at depression. Okay, so for that one, actually, if you want to add a hold at the end, you can do several reps, and at the last rep, you can hold it for 10 seconds, what I kind of recommend, but it depends on the intensity. You can hold it for 10 seconds, you can hold it even for 1 minute, you can do like 2 reps and just hold it for 1 minute. Like I said, reps and sets and intensity is going to vary depending on your day, and I actually want you guys to vary the intensity and vary the reps and vary the different progressions that I'm going to give you for each one of the exercises. The next one is practically similar to that one, but it's the complete opposite. Instead of, this will be a vertical pushing down, we're going from elevation to depression. Here we're going to go again from elevation to depression, but we're going to be working on our pulling strength. So scapula pulls, you grab the bar, both shoulder width apart, keep your body completely tight, slight hollow body position, and from here you're going from complete elevation to complete depression of your scapula. Now when you elevate, you can internally rotate your shoulders just a slightly bit, and when you pull and depress, you should completely try to break the bar, forcing external rotation of the shoulders. And once again, here the motion has to be neutral, unless you want to go for like scapula pull-ups, but that is like more advanced, which you pull up and then lean back and arch your back, and you force more of a retraction, which can work for front lever. But for now, just to keep it simple, let's just work with scapula pull, which is only depression and elevation. To modify that, you can use a resistance band to take some of the load. The resistance band from one foot or in both feet, both are okay, go towards the bar, and repeat the same. You go up and then you come down. And the tempo, one more time, is going to be 0, 0, 0, 3, meaning 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. Once again, to make it harder, just add weight to the exercise, either by a weight belt or, yeah, that's the only thing that you can do, or a weight vest. And also increase the time under tension if you feel like you need it. Like you can be holding it for 5 seconds, then 0, 0, or 1, 1, and then holding it for 5, 7 seconds. And on the last rep, you can hold it for 10 seconds, which is what I recommend. But if you are more advanced, you can go and hold it for longer. And another harder variation for that one is, if you're comfortable with that, you can just go into one-handed. Try to keep your body completely straight, and only use one hand to elevate and then come down. Make sure you're keeping your body straight. If you're not rotating, this will be another shoulder exercise, so we're not going to get into that. You can do one on one side and then you go to the other side. Moving on to the next one. Next one is going to be scapula push-ups. That's pretty simple. I think we covered it in the past. But scapula push-ups, let me demonstrate the easiest one or the easier ones first, which is a push-up. It's bringing your scapula from protraction to retraction, and you want to make sure that your shoulders stay depressed the entire time. So even if you're doing this motion, I don't want you to be doing this motion. And if you find yourself doing that, you might have chosen a harder progression that your body is able to handle. So let me demonstrate first elevated scapula push-ups. As always, in any push-up, any plank, any position that we are doing a horizontal pull, I want you to posteriorly tilt your pelvis, externally rotate your elbows, deep pressure scapula so your lats is engaged. Like if you see my lat right here, is relaxed. When I push my shoulders down towards my hips is when I actually get an activation of my lats. You want to keep that activation, and keeping that activation, you retract and then you protract. Once again, it's 1, 1, 1, 3. So you will be 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. And once again, you can increase the tempo if you're a little bit more advanced, or if you're a little more advanced, just go to regular scapula push-ups. And another variation for beginners can be on the knee push-ups, right here. As I said, I want you guys to play with different variations, different tempo holds, and different rep ranges, depending on the day, depending on how you feel. Variety is key for this type of movements. And finding your weaknesses and working on those is also crucial for this type of training. And the more advanced variation, I would say, would be one-handed scapula push-ups. Again, deep press and then retract and push, trying to keep your body as straight as it possibly can. If you can bring your feet together for more balanced challenge, you can go ahead and do that. And also, you can put a band on my back and just do the same scapula push-up with both hands, or put a band and do a scapula push-ups with one single hand, which I don't think is actually necessary unless you're like an absolute beast that can already planche and you want to take it to one-arm planche. So for that one, you'll be doing 10 to 15 repetitions is what I recommend, but again, depends on the intensity and depends on many other factors. And you want to be holding the top position for at least 10 seconds, making sure when you're in that top position, be aware of the depression, because we can be aware of the protraction, but we also need to be aware of the depression. And I actually want to give you one more tip, which is very common. When we're doing scapula push-ups, or when we're protracting your scapula, I mentioned it in the beginning, you can be protracting your scapula, but you can be flexing and still protracting. You can be extending your spine, and you are still protracting. So if you see, for example, a planche, there are some people that have the planche right here, and there are some people that have the planche right here. So rounding your spine actually reduces the load and it makes the exercise a little bit easier. So try to keep a neutral spine, maybe a slight flexion, but don't round your spine. Like when people say round your spine, if I'm just protracting and my body's completely straight, my back is round. I don't need to do this to actually make it look like it's round, and like I said, it's going to reduce the load and you're not going to get the full benefits of the exercise. Moving on, then we have the scapula body rows with a hold in the retraction position, 8 to 12 with a hold of 10 to 15 seconds. Tempo is the same, 1, 1, 1, 3, and different variations for those. Let's go into that. Let's actually get to this one. So scapula rows, find a middle height bar. If you have rings, it's actually better to increase the lever, because right here, if you go fast forward, then the bar is going to get like way too high and the exercise is not going to be effective. So let me demonstrate the easiest variation. Like right here, I'm almost completely perpendicular to the ground. From here, extend and rotate your elbows always, then push your scapula back into depression. You keep the depression the entire time, and we're gonna work from retraction to full protraction. Retraction to full protraction, trying to keep our body completely stable. So when you retract, it's not that you retract, it's that you just retract, you just bring your shoulders back, you don't arch completely your back. And to make this exercise a little bit harder, just increase the lever by walking your feet forward and making the exercise a little bit challenging. You can also put the box to be completely parallel to the ground and make it harder. You can also do unilateral work. You find like most of us has actually weakness in the anterior part of our body, so if you find that doing unilateral work can really help. If you're already completely straight, the same with the scapula push-ups, but scapula pull. Right here, pull it down, and once again it is 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. Make sure you're completely protracting, you're twisting. Always your body is completely straight. And again, you can also use a resistance band, put it behind your back, grab the bar, and do that one, or put it behind the back and do with one arm. Scapular rows. You can be with your feet on any surface, be completely parallel, do 2 hands. You can also do it with 1 hand on the elevation. There are so many variations. Explore with it, explore with different ranges, explore with adding weight depending on your level. But yeah, it's an exploration journey and finding your own weaknesses. And especially when we're talking about unilateral work, these both the scapula push-ups and the scapular rows can really help you, because we all have imbalances. Like if I stand right here, you're gonna see that my right shoulder actually drops down. That's because I dislocated my shoulders, both of them, like 30 to 40 times. I'm good now. I've been rehabbing those for like 2 or 3 years. So I know sometimes I need to put more attention in one side than in the other one. And doing these type of exercises, and especially the unilateral work, is you're gonna find that, okay, I'm weaker here, or like I tend to shrug more on this side. And it's an exploration journey that is gonna allow you to discover more your body, to learn more about your body, and to fix your own body, because nobody can do it for you. Next one. We got wall handstand shrugs with a hold at elevation. So handstand shrugs, it will be the opposite of a dip, which is a vertical pushing down, from elevation to depression. Here we're also going from elevation to depression, but in overhead. So if you have never done body weight training in your life, I would recommend you to start with a pair of dumbbells, very light dumbbells. This one are 15, and I was going to actually go for 10 or 5. Bring it up, yeah, the cameraman was actually who gave you this. You put it up, maybe completely right here. If you don't have the shoulder flexion to get up to here, you're like right here, maybe try not to do this, or arching your back, which is not the best actually way to do it. So first work on your shoulder flexion if you're going for this variation. If not, go for the other variations that I'm going to talk about. But if you have the shoulder flexion, raise your arms overhead. Make sure again that you're not arching your back, you're not compensating with your body, with your mid back to actually get the dumbbells up, but you are completely straight, and the only thing that moves is your shoulders. Now from here, you deep press, and then you elevate. Deep press, elevate, holding at the top for like 3 seconds on each rep. Once again, it's 1, 1, 1, 3, and on the last rep, hold it for like 10 seconds minimum, but again, depending on the intensity of the exercise that you're choosing. The next variation would be basically handstands against the wall. We'll say that one. You go against the wall. This is intermediate to advanced, I would say. Get into the top position of your handstand, point your toes, find your handstand first, extend and rotate your elbows, push with your shoulders as much as possible. Push with your shoulders as much as possible. Now deep press and then push. Hold, then deep press and then push. Tempo once again is 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. And even though we're working on our scapular muscles, you are doing a handstand, so you're practicing also your handstand. So all the tips that you probably know for the handstands is posterior to tilt your pelvis, keep that core engaged, keep the glutes engaged, your quads engaged. Try to be like a little bit if you were in a handstand position, and the only thing that is moving is your shoulders. If you record yourself, because I get this a lot, and you see that you don't see a lot of movement, don't stress out. It's normal. It's really a minuscule movement. that you should see. So just try to push as much as possible and then depress as much as possible. Next variations would be basically decreasing the lever in a handstand we're right here. The next one will be like a pike, and then you can go in elevated pike, and then you can go into pike. Let me demonstrate the elevated pike. Put the feet on the elevation. Create a 90-degree angle or 45 depending on the elevation that you're choosing. The higher the elevation, the more weight is going to be on your shoulders, so the harder the exercise is going to be. Posterior feel your pelvis, external rotate your elbows, come down. Try when you come down, don't bend your arms. Use only the strength of your scapula. One more time will be 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. Really making sure that you're pushing as much as possible, like really as much as possible. Then if that's way too hard, or if you are rehabbing, like it doesn't have to be easier or harder, it depends on the situation. You might be having had a crazy training week and you want to work out on Saturday, but you feel like very sore. So that's an amazing time to actually choose the easier progression, even if you can full planche already, and work on those weaknesses and work on those imbalances that we all have. But the easier variation for that one will be pike. So you go right here, in a downward facing dog. You don't lower your heels, doesn't need to be on the floor. You can do it right here, and then you go from elevation, depression, keeping those hips high, elevation, depression, elevation. Okay. You go from and you go from elevation to depression, elevation, depression. Once again, keeping those arms completely straight and extend and rotate your arms as much as possible. If you want to take a step further, you can do freestanding handstand push-ups. That basically is a lot of more weight in your body, and it's also going to challenge your balance. Should I demonstrate it? Let me do at least 2. So from all my super advanced calisthenics athletes out there, let's see what it looks like. This one is also going to challenge your balance. You get into your handstand, with your balance, then you deep press and elevate. Deep press, elevate. Deep press, elevate. Once again, this one, even though you're working on your scapula, then you're adding a balance component, which can be good, but it can be bad because obviously you're going to be doing less reps. Obviously it's going to be more challenging for your central nervous system. So if you're looking for rehab or if you're looking for a warm-up, I wouldn't recommend to do a freestanding handstand push-ups, shrugs, even if you're an advanced hand balancing master. Next one, modifications, freestanding under tension, freestanding handstand shrugs, perfect. Now the last one, dislocated shoulders with a stick. Here we're working on all angles, and what I recommend is 8 to 12 reps, but once again, depending on the intensity, you can switch that up. We're using a stick because it's a little bit harder than the band. The band is going to be like the easier variation for this one. So you're going to grab the stick at about the width that allows you to go for a full range of motion. Like this is way too intense for me. I know people that can do it, but for me it's way too intense. So I go a little bit wider. The wider you grab the sticks, the easier the movement is going to be. So find an intensity, once again, that allows you to go for the amount of reps that you want to go. If you want to, that intensity, for example, for me, like I feel a lot of stretch. So I would go for like 5 to 6 controlled reps. But if I make it a little bit wider, then I can just work on more movement, be more aware, maybe stop in a loose position. And for this movement, first of all, as always, keep your spine completely straight. The only thing that we're moving is our shoulder and our shoulder blades and our entire scapula. From here, go slow. Once you get here, you elevate, then you retract in that elevation, then you depress, give it to full range of motion, and then you repeat that cycle one more time. This one, I like to do it as controlled as you possibly can. So go up, like find each position. You can also, even when you're here, that I just said to have it elevated, you can work doing the full movement with a complete depression of the scapula. So basically you're moving the stick, but your shoulders are always staying down. It's gonna be a lot harder, but your shoulder, okay guys. A lot harder, but your shoulder is actually meant to be depressed, so it sticks on the ball and the socket. Like if we elevate it too much and we don't have enough strength on our retraction, that's when like problems can come, because if you don't have the strength on your retraction muscles, on your back muscles, then you're gonna run forward, and if you don't have the strength pushing down your shoulder, then you're gonna be shrugging up, and that happens. So you see that I have a long neck, I will have a longer neck. I think that will be it. To modify this one, you can add weight. The only way to add weight to a stick, which I can take off, if you know another one, let us know, is by putting a small plate in the middle and then working through that range of motion. I don't have a small plate, so that's why I don't have it to demonstrate. But also a variation, if you don't have a stick, or if the stick is too short, doesn't allow you to go, or if you want to do one day with the stick, one day with the band, each one of them has different benefits. This is an exploration journey, and this is a discovery of, again, your own weaknesses, so you can fix those specific weaknesses. And sometimes a stick works better than a band, and sometimes mixing them works better. Play around with it. So with the band, instead of the band pull apart that we're with our supination of the hands, we're gonna keep our hands pronated, but I still want you to keep a external rotation, and again, by your hand being outside of your elbow, it's gonna allow you to force more of that external rotation. From here, go up, then come down. With the band, you have more freedom to actually go here, and if you don't feel like you can pass through, then you can extend the band and go forward. So if you want to add like intensity, like going like right here with the black band, then if I go here, my shoulders doesn't go through. But this is going to force me to actually pull the band apart and then bring the band forward. That was actually really, really hard. Like I would only go for like 3 or 4 reps of those. And yes. If you want to make it harder, like increase more that range of motion. If you want to make it easier, just move up to here, move up to here. It's going to depend on your shoulder flexion as well as your shoulder extension. This works like all full ranges of your shoulder, as well as all the stability of your scapula. Be aware on every single movement. Don't do it just because you just want to do it. And once again, you can do it as a warm-up, several exercises. You can pick 1 or 2 depending on your weaknesses. You can do it at the end of your workout. You can do it as a standalone routine and do 3 sets of each one. We're going to give you guidance and recommendations as to how to approach your scapula stability training. But once again, it is a journey that is very, very personal, and it depends on how many times train during the week, how sore you are, and also depends on your goals. For me, I'm a hyper flexible person, and I need to work a lot on that, and that was actually one of the things that fixed my shoulder. But if you are a very rigid person, then you might want to work towards more of flexibility and mobility stuff, active flexibility, which again, they're going to be all around the SM platform. Once again guys, thank you for being here, and much love.